I am in the kitchen this morning for something a little bit different, and I thought I would show you some of the new gadgets that we've received. So I'm sure you guys have all seen them. They are the little bag stands, I think that's what they're called. So we just got these ones from Amazon. We got 4. But basically they just hold up your little bags. So this is a quart size Ziploc bag. I fold it over so it's easier to clip, like you don't have anything in the tracks when you try to clip them. And then you just tuck each side under the clip, and they're extendable so you can use them for the larger bags as well, or the smaller bags depending on. So we got 4 of those, and the reason I was waiting to do this video until I got these was because I wanted to use them to make some pre-made cake mixes, or like packet mixes for instance. So think brownies in a box, but our own version. So a lot more budget friendly. I went to buy brownies to make them for a work morning tea this week, and they were $7 a box because they were not on special. So I know that I can make them a lot cheaper than that. So I thought I would give this a go. And I also want to shout out to Selena's Table for the inspiration. She is where I have got the recipes that I'm going to pre-mix today. And she has a couple of other ones as well. So if you jump over, I'll pop a link down below, and you can watch her video of how she makes her packet mixes. But I am going to make a brownie and a 2-serve of muffin mixes, because they're the 2 that we eat the most. And then I'll put a slide at the end as to what you need to add in. So things like your eggs, your milk, your vanilla, that kind of stuff, like your wet ingredients when you go to make them, like you would a box cake mix. So I'm just going to get all of my bits and pieces out of the cupboard, and then we'll start making them. Alright guys, so this will make 2 lots of muffin mix. I am going to just put them straight in the bag instead of into a bowl, just because I find that easier. So these are the size above sandwich. So there's the sandwich, and then there's these guys. So that is what I am making them in today. So this mix will make, so these measurements will make 2 serves. So 3 really simple ingredients, and I'm going to chuck in some chopped chips as well, because we always like our muffins with chopped chips, but you don't need to if you don't want to. So in each bag you're adding 2 cups of self-raising flour, so 4 in total. So this is my cup measurement. All right, so 2 cups in each. A 1/4 cup of white sugar. Now I always use caster sugar in my cooking, but you can use normal white sugar, raw sugar, whatever you'd like. So a 1/4 cup in each. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now that is just a basic muffin mix. Like I said, you can add your add-ins if you want some chopped chips. I have some Costco chopped chips that I want to get rid of. So I am going to just tip the rest of these into one of these muffin mixes. Yeah, let's share them. There was more there than I thought there was. Alright, so really simple. to muffin mix. So you could probably go down a size in the bag. These are just what I had. And then what you want to do is just mix it all together. So, and make sure your bag is sealed, otherwise it will go all over your kitchen bench. Like mine just has. Whoops. Alright, so make sure they're nice and sealed. And then mix them. And then to each of these, you are going to add, when it is time to mix them, you are going to add 1 egg, 1 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, and then some more chopped chips if you like them. Alright, so same thing. Make sure it's nice and sealed. And there we have it. In a matter of minutes, you've got 2 cake mixes ready to go. Now we're going to do our brownie mix. So I probably don't need the super huge bag. And go back to the same size as our muffins. For this one. Alright. So, same sort of ingredients, but obviously brownies have a lot more in them. So, we are going to want some plain flour. We are going to want baking powder. Now, baking powder and baking soda are different. So baking powder for this one, salt, cocoa, and white and brown sugar. So 2 lots of sugars for this one. Not salt, sugar. All right, so what we're going to do, and this will make 2 serves of brownies. So I'm going to need another one. You're going to have to bear with me because I am going to be doing some math while we go. All right. So in each of our bags, again, I'm going to just put the ingredients straight into the bag. And then you can mix it in a bowl and then just halve your ingredients if you wanted to. That's how I have watched Selena do it. But personally, I just want to put it straight in the bag. So I'm going to do that today. So into your bag, you are going to start with your flour. So this one has plain flour. If you want to use self-raising flour because that's all that you have, then do a little bit of research. But I believe you could probably skip the baking powder. It just won't be as fluffy. So if you have plain flour, definitely a good idea to use that. So into each bag, we're going to do 1 1/4 cups of plain flour. And if you're doing it in a bowl, that's 2 1/2 cups into a bowl. Okay. Tablespoon. There we go. Sorry. Teaspoon of baking powder in each. And a teaspoon of salt in each. now we're going to do 1 cup in each bag of each of the sugars. So 2 cups of sugar in total, but 1 cup of each. Now, my containers are skinny, so I'm actually going to use a half cup, if that's why you guys see me add 2. My brown sugar is bigger, so I can just use my 1 cup. Okay. So these are how our bags are looking at the moment. We've got to add our cocoa. So this one was the one that was going to hurt my brain. So we want 1 1/3 cups in total if you're making 2 batches. Let's do some maths, shall we? So that's 4/3, so we want 2/3 in each. All right. Who said fractions aren't helpful at school? Another amazing reason to do this over a bag or a bowl, you can literally just, I was going to say tip it in and not make any mess, but that just went all over my bench. It's not very ideal at all, but that's okay. All right, so that is all in the bag. Our only other ingredient is our choc chips. Now, I've got dark chocolate, white chocolate. You essentially want a cup of choc chips in each packet. How or what choc chips that is completely up to you. If you don't like dark chocolate, if you don't like white chocolate, put whatever choc chips you like in. It's brownies. You can add nuts. You can add the peanut butter choc chips if you want to. We don't have all the super fancy types of choc chips here in Australia that I can find. But if you've got peanut butter ones or you want to put M&Ms in there, it's brownies, so you can do whatever you like. So I'm just going to do 1/2 cup of dark chocolate, which these are bigger than I thought they were, in each. And 1/2 cup of white chocolate in each. Now, ideally, you will have wanted to have mixed your brownie mix before this point. What I will do is when I go to make it, I will just put it in a bowl, all the wet ingredients, before I add all the wet ingredients, and I'll give it a really good mix to break up the brown sugar, to break up the cocoa powder, because I would have wanted to do that anyway if they're sitting in a packet for a little while. So I will do that when I add the wet ingredients. So basically, this is what our brownie mix is now looking like. Once again, make sure you seal the bag. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a mix so it all mixes together. And then I'll whisk it together when we make it and add in the wet ingredients. But in under 15 minutes this morning, we have made 2 brownie mixes, 2 muffin mixes, and that will get me through school lunches and school holidays, because it's almost school holidays here in Queensland for Easter. And then we can just make some more to have in the cupboard. But all pantry staples, I had all of these ingredients. I didn't go and buy any specifically for it. I will need to restock my sugar and my cocoa powder. But doing batches like this means that I don't need those ingredients for a little while because I've got mixes already made. And my girls, for some reason, don't like chocolate cookies or chocolate muffins, but they love brownie. Who doesn't love a brownie? So what I will do now is write out some stickers and some labels for these bags so that I know what I have to add in. So for the brownies, when we're making them, and I'll put this on a slide at the end, we are adding a half a cup of water. We are adding 2 eggs, half a cup of oil, and a tablespoon of vanilla. So all your standard add-ins, like I said, that you would if you were doing a bit of a box packet. But so simple, and then it's ready to go. I'll store these in my pantry in a container and make them when I feel like we need them. Now, I should have put my apron on, but that's okay. And thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.